Welcome back. We're still reviewing the papers. Vanguard now. Major headline, tax reform bills offer 55% to states in new sharing formula. Tokwe, did you take this story? It looks like the kind of story you can take. Polytechnic lecturers begin strike December 2. Bode Jot tackles on Nanuga for insulting Obasanjo. Tinubu to Macron, a starved nation won't care about weather environment. End bad governance, protest. Police killed 24 protesters in 6 states. That is according to the Amnesty International. A FIFA ranking, Super Eagles drop 8 places after loss to Rwanda. What stories do we have in the Vanguard?
Sorry, I missed a story in the Punch, and I think it's very important. They said suspected herdsmen kill a chief in Ogun State. The members of the Okeaha local government of Imekwafon local government area, Okeaha village of the Imekwafon local government area of Ogun State were left in shock as the community chief, Oguleye Ali Egbe, was discovered on his farmland, shot multiple times in the pool of his blood on Wednesday afternoon. Around, they said in the afternoon, they found him in the pool of his blood. The police commissioner, the police command in Ogun State has confirmed the killing, and they are saying that an anonymous source said it was carried out by herdsmen, and that it was, they've killed a lot of people within that community between farmer-herder clash. Now, I mentioned on TV that there were herdsmen on my land, and they had cattle, and we told them to leave, and they left.
They left?
And there was no harm, no casualty. My staffs went there twice, did video. These people did not hurt them. They are criminals. They are not. They are criminals and they are herdsmen.
Oh,
we should stop lumping them together.
Yes.
And the way we push this story out there, my staff were scared before they went. They don't enter inside. The second time they went, they said, do video. These people are just normal. Many of the herdsmen are just normal farmers.
Yes.
And because we've labeled them based on media, doesn't mean every herdsman is a killer. You know, but in this particular story, in the particular story, they said that the police has done investigation. We need the police investigation to be conclusive.
Yeah.
They said the conclusion, what they found out was he was shot in the chest, resulting in his death. They taken photographs. They took his corpse to the police, to the mortuary, Ayetoro General Hospital mortuary for an autopsy, and that they have commenced preliminary investigation to apprehend the perpetrators, and the area is under surveillance. We don't know. So usually this is where the story ends. We will never find out who actually killed the person. Yeah. So the what will be left in the mind of people is killer herdsmen. They even put Fulani, they say Fulani herdsmen, the Fulani kidney, like,
really wrong.
We need to investigate so that it will stop. We will know who killed who kidnapped who, and not just label a group of people and turn them into criminals when they are just...
Because that's just putting the good ones, their lives at stake. I like the way you elaborated.
Well, do we have another story?
Yes, so I have the story of the Amnesty International, where they said the police killed 24. They said the Amnesty accused Nigerian police of killing 24 protesters in 6 northern states during the nationwide bad governance protest between August 1st and 10th of August. They said that the Nigerian authorities failed to respect and ensure the rights of freedom of expression, and also they restricted the protesters to certain places, especially in Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt. And also, they are now saying that that's one of the guys said, his name is Sanusi, said Kano has highest number of casualties with 12 persons, 3 killed in Borno, Jigawa, and Niger, while 2 were killed in Kaduna and 1 killed in Katsina, respectively. But they are now saying that the President, Bola Tinubu, and his government must conduct prompt, thorough, independent, impartial, transparent, and effective investigations into the allegations of human rights violations during this protest, and ensure that those that they find responsible are identified and brought to justice in fair trials, and also that there should be effective remedies for victims and their families. So let's see how that's what they want. So the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, yesterday announced that it will begin a 2-week warning strike beginning from December 2nd, 2024, over the inability of the government to resolve its 11-item demands. Some of the defining resolutions of their unions, 111th NEC, was issuance of the 15-day ultimatum to the government to address some of the issues, and some of the issues here are that they include sustained reports of impunity and disrespect of clear provisions of the Federal Polytechnics Act,
different edicts establishing state-owned institutions and other instruments of governance in the sector, particularly as it affects appointment of principal officers in federal and state-owned polytechnics, as well as other items of governance in politics. They also said that there was a solid display of the Governing Council of the Federal Polytechnics naked day, the appointment process that was carried out in recruiting a new rector, that it was not in line with the acts of the Polytechnics. And they named a lot, but then one that also came to my attention was the non-capturing of the peculiar academic allowance of members for sustained payments in the planned post-IPPIS era, and refusal of most state-owned polytechnics to implement the 35-25% salary review for members, and non-release of the arrest of same in federal polytechnics, amongst others. So they have like an 11 item that they want met. So I just feel that the government should negotiate with them, and 15 days is not enough time for the government to meet everything.
Yeah,
but then if they have
time frame.
Yeah, but if they have an act that guides them, I believe that before they can appoint somebody, those acts or edicts should be followed.
Yeah.
That's just the right thing to do.
Okay, let's move on now to the New Telegraph. You have a
Yes,
story?
I want to take the tax reform story, because the tax reform story has elicited a lot of engagement, especially even from the lawmakers, who some agree and some disagree. Senator Ndume, of course, kicks against it, but Bamidele, Musa, Dixon, Moro are supporting the bill because there's going to be a reduction. That's the part that I'm interested in company income tax from 30% to 25%, and an increase for the state governors to get about 55% in the new sharing formula, and zero VAT, rather, on exports and essential commodities. They said to have more clarity on this, they've invited the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, and the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue, FIRS, Dr. Zach Adedeji, to the plenary to explain more about the tax reform. The Senate president already said that whatever happens, they are going to put the interest of Nigerians at heart, and that they will do what is good for Nigerians. I just feel like this is the first time we're having a proper, holistic tax reform in many years, and the lawmakers should take time to understand it before rejecting it.
Yeah, amazing. So let's move on now to the New Telegraph. This may likely be the last paper for today. Major headline, Paris. Tinubu calls for more investments in food security, solid minerals, and others. We have a story here, CDS. We are deepening civil-military relations to enhance national security. Our location, our determination destroyed enemies' Black Christmas plots. This is according to Fubara. Alleged abuse of office. Ex-CBN governor's aide testifies in court. Details of $400,000 transaction. Biafra. Finnish court sets May 2025 deadline for Simon Ekpa's trial. We have another story here, tax reform bills, invitation of experts by National Assembly in order. That's according to Akpabio. Police killed 24, detained 1,200 end bad governance protesters, says Amnesty International. Census delay hindering Nigeria's progress. That's according to the MPC. While Polytechnic lecturers are embarking on warning strike by Sharma, Ondo Guba tribunal yet to receive petitions, and minimum wage 70,000 may not buy tissue paper in the next 5 years, according to the NLC. Who took that story?
I did.
So what do we have in the papers?
The National Population Commission, we're just talking about census and data collection, has decried the delay in the conduct of national population and housing census, saying it posed a challenge to government's intervention in specific demographic groups. Because, you know, if you can remember, last year they were meant to conduct a census by the past administration, but then the past administration also cancelled it.
Shifted it?
Yeah, shifted it, yes. So they're saying that the commission's chairman, Nasir Kwara, has stated that this, has described that this delay in conducting the population and housing census is a setback to Nigeria's progress. Because in terms of home budgeting, in terms of allocation, in terms of everything for its citizens, because there's no reliable and accurate census for the fundamental information and rights of its citizens. No accuracy in anything, so it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think this is like you know, like how we're talking about like the DPV and the NI and everything is supposed to be synced.
Sync data.
Can't even sync data. We don't know how many we are. We don't even know what's going on. That's sad.
Yes, so President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday at the prestigious Palais d'Elysée told France President Emmanuel Macron that a starved nation will not care about weather or environment. and that in the 21st century, no child should go to bed hungry. So President Tinubu at a high-profile meeting with President Macron also affirmed Nigeria's strong commitment to enhancing cooperation in key sectors such as food security, energy, solid minerals, education, and defense. And at a joint press conference, the president highlighted the vast yet untapped potential within Nigeria's agricultural sector and beckoned on international investors to capitalize on the nation's welcoming investment climate. So the full story is that Nigeria is flourishing in the financial sector, which is a facilitator for foreign investments, particularly from French enterprise, as part of helping to boost the food security. Now, he says the financial sector is evolving and flourishing in the country, that they are also creating grounds for investment in Nigeria's economy for French nationals to come in, especially in the area of food security. He says our responsibility to put together a food security program for the private sector to come and invest in the country. So he's calling on everyone to come in, that they are working on stability and they're getting closer and closer to that so that people can flourish and then there'll be enough food for Nigerians to eat. Yep. We have another story before we go?
Okay, so I have the story of the 70,000 minimum wage where he said it's not going to be enough to buy tissue paper. He's actually talking about some states who are still paying. He said the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, that's Comrade J. Ajero, he said the current economic realities and the 70,000 approved by president, it's not even matching. May not even be able to buy tissue, toilet paper in the next. So he's now saying that they can't even go to the table to increase the minimum wage. Meanwhile, some states are not even paying yet. He cited one state, Zamfara State. He says Zamfara State that they started paying 30,000. Before they were paying 18,000. Oh. But now they started paying 30,000. Exactly. So they are saying that they are going to start a strike December 1st, but it's not a general strike. It's going to be a state-to-state strike. That means those states that are not paying the 70,000, they are the ones that are going to go on strike.
So those are, they've listed the 3 states now. Cross River is there, Zamfara is there. There's another state.
There's another state.
Katsina is there, 3 of them. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper segment. When we come back, the show continues afterwards. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.